Hello everybody, gonna do another channeled video. So let me see what, okay, so I really wanted to channel my spirit guide, who is Mother Snake, and she is, I've talked about her in another video. I don't channel her ever, but I totally adore her, totally love when I feel her near me. She is a snake, and she's also a woman. She's many things. I'm not gonna say anything. I just want to see what she has to say to us, because I think a message from her would be really extraordinary. So I'm choosing to channel my spirit guide, Mother Snake, now. So, alright, this is really, it's like fascinating. The experience I'm having right now is so many odd pictures, and the feeling of energy is quite different than I'm used to. For channeling purposes, because I never channel her, so now I'm channeling her and feeling her in a different way than I ever have before, which is quite strange. I don't know how to describe it. Sort of like fire. Like fire is entering into me, but there's absolutely no heat at all. Almost no sensation, almost like I'm numb. But I can sense her and feel her. She's very, she isn't totally isn't totally there yet, not entirely experiencing her yet, but yet knowing that she's there. Wondering what she's waiting for is what I'm thinking, my mind. So, let's see. I'm gonna just let the first picture come, really sacred, really revere, revere her, revere the sacred snake, revere, honor the snake goddess, speaking through me, the snake goddess, revere her, that's what she's saying. Superior energy, superiorly profound, unlike anything else I've come to know. What could only be described as superior confidence, but not in the sensation of just being confident, but knowing what you deserve because of who and what you are as this extraordinarily profound expression. You don't just become an extraordinarily profound expression. You don't just, like that. You're just not born that. You develop into that. She's developed into what you could not possibly deny who and what she is as this extraordinary expression. What is, let me see how we can work through this message. Absolutely dumbfounding me. So she is the evil of the darkness. She is the angel of the light. She is the balance of evil and light. This is the only way I could describe it. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of the dark? Are you afraid of evil? Look into my eyes. Do you fear me? She says that in a loving way. She wants you to fear and then face your fear and then be reborn, is what she is saying. She wants to terrify you, but she wants to rebirth you through you facing your fears and then being reborn into the light. She is so dark and almost evil, but she is the evil that captivates you, forces you to choose, become more, become this profound expression that only the evil could mold you into being this sort of extraordinary being of light. So it is the honor that we give to the dark to transform us into the light. It's the only way I can describe it. Superior voice, unlike anything I've come across. absolutely adore her. Do not fear her at all. Absolutely adore her entirely, embrace her, love her entirely, revere her, think she's so spectacular. See her as not what others would see her as. Others would see her as evil, but I see her as love. The most purest expression of love there is known to anyone in all of the creations, of all of the universes, of all of the infinite spiritual and physical universe. The mother of all is the snake mother. The snake mother of all. That is real. That is absolutely real. Because she is the balance of both. The evil and the darkness and the angel and the light. She is what rebirths us through the darkness and into the light. She is that. That's what she is. So Kundalini is sort of the image of the light. Sort of, you have a dark background, alright? And then just this dark picture, but you have a line in the center, okay? Like the spine. This is important. She's saying this line in the center of darkness is important. It is the center of your existence within the universe. Your spine is the center of your existence in the universe. Not just your body, not just like, your body is the universe, is the way we can describe it. Your spine is the line that is your center of the universe. And now up this line comes this sort of white, pure white, blinding light. That is your balance. Let's see what she says about this. It is so aligned and in balance. The light doesn't do this. Doesn't go through these streaky lines. It is a perfect funnel of circularity, perfectly balanced, right down the center. If you were to cut this line in half, you would see two sides perfectly split into half. So it is the perfect balance and alignment. What can only be described as a human being standing so straight, standing so confidently, standing so oneness. And we're not talking about two sides and then straight down. We're talking about reflections of mirrors that are completely balanced, hundreds of mirrors. This is what Kundalini does for you. Do you know about Kundalini? She says. This is important. Every human being needs to revere or comprehend this. Every human being who chooses to know this. She's very much so, this is not going to relate to every human being. A human being who chooses, the soul, not the human being, the soul who chooses to go to take that journey, to step onto that pathway and choose the path of the snake. She says the path of the snake is the hardest path, because it is the path that leads you through the tunnels of the darkest, most evil, most terrifying nightmares to rebirth your soul into the brightest expression of light. This is hardcore. And what is Kundalini is a gift of the snake. To be a perfect balance with what is in the infinite. All of these mirrors are perfectly balanced on both sides because of the spiraling light that comes up through the center and is perfectly balanced in this dark world. This light in this dark world. This is really overwhelming. It's almost like I'm getting freezing cold right now, and I'm like starting to shiver because I don't know why, but channeling her is like overwhelming. Didn't expect that. Like when she visits me, it's so warm and loving, and so for me to actually channel her is so different than what I feel when I just talk to her like an average Joe, you know, like just a regular person talking to her. It feels so different. She's sharing a message of wisdom, and so she is exactly this voice that needs to be at the right temperature and level and platform of understanding so that you can see and hear and know her properly, not as I know her, but as others must see and understand and comprehend her. So it is appropriate. It's the only way I can describe it. Sort of like, you're not going to put your jammies on and go to work and then give a presentation to like 20 hardcore professionals. So she's not putting her jammies on and talking to everybody. She's actually like legit right now, where we just talk together like old friends, so to speak. It's not appropriate to talk that way for this video. So I'm telling you this because it is surprising and it's really kind of exciting too. So she wants to share more about the gifts of the snake, more about what her gift is. What is a bright spotlight shining down into the darkness? A human being sort of in the middle of the circle of the spotlight. They are in the spotlight. The spotlight sees this human. This human's not feeling very well, or they're squirming, or not. There's this is the pain and suffering of the gift that she gives, the challenge of the pathway of the snake, and then to be reborn. That is it. You get to this point of absolute self-destruction, or ultimate decay, or absolute nightmare existence, only to find yourself reborn and tolerant of what you would never have been tolerant of before. Now you can stand up in darkness and in light and show yourself as renewed, rebalanced, reborn. Only way to describe it. She is master teacher, she says. I am master teacher. I teach those the way of the snake. See what else she says. Something about a staff with a snake, and golden snake staff and red eyes. I saw this when I was a kid, and I watched Aladdin, and Jafar has this sort of snake staff. Sort of mesmerized by it, but I didn't understand its meaning at that time. I still don't understand the meaning of it, but it showed itself too when I was channeling about Egypt. So let's see what it means to me. I'm actually going to sort of, as a soul or spirit, enter into, take a look to see into the snake's eyes, which are red. Looks just like Jafar's snake staff, and the eyes are glowing. So I'm going to look into the snake eyes, okay, and then see what is there. So we'll see what is curiosity, exploring oneself, trying to comprehend the greater meaning, choice to explore the snake with more depth, or even like a childlike curiosity to understand self, which is more so than self realizes, is what it is, the way they're describing this. So I'm looking into the snake eyes now. Let me see what I see here. Nothing is changing. Give me a few minutes, and I'm just going to close my. I'm just gonna see what happens here. Okay, this is something different. I can't tell you what it is. Almost feels like I'm about to be tortured to death. Don't like it. Don't feel good about it. Let's see. Pretty tragic, pretty disgusting sort of image. But hold on, let me just choose to see it, so that way we all can create understanding, okay? Things aren't always what they seem. Isn't that said in Aladdin as well? Don't they say that, diamond in the rough or something? Things aren't always what they seem. So I need to go endure this tragic. Basically, arms are in shackles on a sort of table of some kind, upright like this. Legs also in shackles outward. Everything is dark. There's like a really bright spotlight in my face. They're even putting eye drops or something in my eyes. And what could only be described as my arms and legs are about to be sawed off. So let's just see what happens, alright? So let me go there. Okay, so I'm altering the perception now. Altering the perception of what is absolute torture and torment, of physical body. Choosing to see into the light with an alternate perception So now I am overcoming the fear, and now I am embracing strength and renewal. Even so much as not to be torn apart and to override what was about to take place, to even become more powerful than it itself, more powerful than the experience itself, overriding even this nightmare from taking place, because I am sort of in control of it now, because I am choosing to alter my perception, to be in control of it. Not to let the nightmare be in control of me, but now I am in control of the nightmare. That is what this is about. Choosing to be in control of the nightmares that you endure is choosing to embrace the snake, choosing to look into the eyes of the snake, and then to choose what is more powerful than fear itself, which is love. That is what she's saying. This is about darkness and nightmare and evil, but this is also about light. They say tricks, trick of the mind. Some flickering voice I hear. It's a trick of the mind. Everything is a trick of the mind here. Everything, all perceptions are a trick of the mind. And it's sort of like a butterfly, even. The sound of it is sort of flapping its butterfly wings, and is saying transformation. Override the trick of the mind, and then you transform into the butterfly. And now you are no longer a caterpillar feeding off of all this food, but now you have transformed into something far more extraordinary than you ever were before. A butterfly, flying even. Flying into wherever you want to go. What is monarch butterfly flying distances across continents and water bodies? Even a butterfly can fly the distance of the ocean. A butterfly, I don't know how that's possible. They have such delicate wings, you know. They're not like birds, they're not hardy flyers, you know, but yet they can find a way to, what is balance? They are in the balance, part of the balance, and being in part of the balance, they're actually letting me hear what is the sound that animals hear, that animals understand, why animals seem to know when it will rain before it actually rains, why animals know when there's some sort of, like all the elephants. This happened when I was in college. Sort of terrible like tsunami that killed all of those people, but the elephants moved inland, and there's some animals moved inland and were able to survive. The animals knew that it was coming, that the human beings did not know, because the animals are in this sort of perfect Kundalini balance on all sides, and everything is in perfect balance. Not even a tiny little bit imperfect. Perfect balance. They hear this sort of harmonic sound, or sound that gives them ripples. That sometimes the ripple is different. It creates an alternate wave that indicates to them that it is going to storm now, or indicates to them that the winds are changing, or indicates to them anything about the earth and nature. It's like they have a little beacon that says beep beep beep. It's going to be a tornado soon, or there's going to be a hurricane, or something like that, and the animals just know, even the butterflies. Even the butterflies know about this. Human beings are not sort of hearing it. We're totally connected with that same vein of wisdom, but yet we just don't seem to, it doesn't flow, we don't hear it flowing into us. Because the sound is different than what we consider a voice. It doesn't come into us like a voice. We hear voices, right? We hear music, but the way this wisdom channels through us is not equivalent to a voice. And so it doesn't register in our human minds as a sound or something we need to hear, so to speak, because it comes to us differently. But animals can hear it and know about it. So let's see what else she's going to share with us. So this is like heavy. really heavy, really dark, sort of really heavy feeling. So heavy, almost could weigh me down. What could only be described as like I'm jumping off the ship and I have my feet shackled and I'm going to the bottom and there's no stopping me. I'm about to die, is the only way I can describe this. So again, I'm having to face, I can feel all this, I can feel this. Total can feel the feeling of this experience. There is no escape, is the only way I can describe it. I'm screwed. I'm going to the bottom, I'm going to die. It's the only way I can describe it. How are you going to get it off your feet? How are you going to accept death? It's basically the only way. That is the point of the image. Accepting death. Accepting death. This is a lot of meaning to it. I only hope I could be able to even skim the depth of the meaning. The first meaning that came to me was, what is your stance on that experience? What if that were to happen and you had no choice but then to accept death? How do you accept death, like into that degree of nightmare? And you have no choice, you have to accept death. It's like you always have a choice, but how are you going to get a metal ball off of your feet when you don't have a key or you don't have a tool in the physical to remove it? I mean, in the spiritual you can do anything, you have infinite capabilities. In the physical you're I don't know how you override the physicalness so that you too can have infinite capabilities even in the physical. What is to create miracles, to unhinge the shackle. Just through choosing for it to unhinge, creating a miracle is the only way I could describe it. You either choose to accept death or you create a miracle. That is the only way you would be able to override that scenario. So she's saying, do you believe in miracles? I'm like, well, in that scenario, I guess I don't. I don't believe in miracles in that scenario. I'm even trying to say, sure, yeah, I believe that is possible. I could create a miracle. But the reality is, the honest side of me says, I really don't feel that any miracle would ever come and rescue me. She's reminding me of times where I could do things that other people would not be able to do because. And the way I describe it is there's always an invisible portal. There's always something you missed. There's always something that you didn't see. You truly can accomplish anything that you choose to accomplish because there is always an invisible portal that you don't see. There's always some way to override every single trick in every book. That is the physical realm. You can override it. You will find the illusionary sort of doorway that your mind would never perceive, and then choose to open that doorway and create the miracle. She's like, so then you do believe in miracles? And so I say, yes, I guess I do. So then we are back to the picture again, and she's basically she's forcing me to choose to take that same stance in this experience of me where I had originally said there's no way out, I'm going to die, I have to choose death. And now she's saying, okay, well, you've just proven to yourself that you do believe in miracles. So now, in this experience of death, now choose a miracle that is going to save you. So now I'm going to choose a miracle, okay? And we'll see what happens. We'll see what this is all about. Okay, there's many miracles my soul is creatively examining. What is the water alters its makeup, and then actually creates sort of like the metal does not like the water and ends up corroding the metal or sort of breaking the metal, and the metal just comes apart in the water. Because the water itself, I choose to alter the way the metal interacts with the water, and so now the water is more powerful than the metal, and now the metal breaks, and now I am free. That is the miracle I chose. is to alter the way water chooses to behave. Because water can water can alter its properties. So water can alter its properties all the time with different temperatures. It alters its properties, but I know water alters its properties in other ways, where you don't even have to change the temperature. You can actually choose to share loving energy with water, and then water alters its even expression to be a reflection of love itself. So water, as you can choose to share hateful, spiteful energy with water, and then water then alters its demeanor then to be an expression of what it is. So water is a mirror, a reflective sort of substance. It chooses to be aligned with the expression of even your own emotional body. So now in this instance, I have overridden the physical, overridden the illusion that I did not have control, and now I have chosen to take control through altering and bending the fabric of reality. She says, I'm a reality bender. I bend the fabric of reality. Don't choose to be human, Abby. Be your bending self. Bend the fabric of reality, because you can. Even in your physical body, those physical shoes you fill, even then you can bend reality. You can change everything. Every human being can change everything by choosing to bend their perception of reality and then see reality as bendable. Because, as you say, we aren't in a physical world, we are in a spiritual world. The perception is that it is physical, the perception is the illusion. It isn't physical, it is spiritual, and thus all things can bend, all things can break, all things can change, and you have the power to change everything. That's what she's saying. That is what she's saying. Let's see what else. She's like, oh, you want me to talk more? You were just thinking about ending this video. And I was like, well, I guess we could just, okay, so more is coming. Hold on. Overwhelming feeling, again. Really hard to digest feeling. Energy that is very dark coming into me, into my chest even. Sort of disgusting sort of feeling. Rotting, awful feeling. She's like, why are you embracing that? And I was like, well, I'm learning from it. You're doing, I am learning right now. Part of learning is choosing to experience. That is the message right now. She's saying part of learning is experiencing. Even the experiences that are disgusting, disturbing, and do not fill you with joy is learning. She's very much so interesting. Okay, so now I'm like, alright, I get it, I got your message. I'm pushing the dark energy out of me so I can feel relief with the light. The light that purifies is sort of enhances, brightens, makes us feel happier, more joyful. She's like, do you see now what dark does for you? Do you see the gift that dark provides? You see the gift that the evil gives to us? It gives us the ability to understand the light, that we want to embrace the light. Many of us actually embrace the dark, just have that sort of need to go there. Only to discover in the end that we just want to be in the light again. To gravitate back to the light again, where we can find healing and balance and grow properly again. Now she's showing me the spiral, and all of this is about Kundalini and energy, and the balance and the oneness, the light and the dark, and the perfect balance in the infinite reflection. What is so many reflections? There's no number. But trying to define it so that it could be something a human mind could comprehend. There's just infinite reflections. Alright, so that's it. That's all. that is all I'm sharing from my spirit guide, Mother Snake. So I'll let you digest that however you want to. And I think it shows both sides of loving, why we can love and adore and appreciate both sides. What is the purpose of evil and darkness, and actually to honor and respect it for its gifts that it gives to us to embrace and love the light, you know. Can't comprehend how much you love and adore the light until you experience the darkness, and only then can you be reborn. From darkness, you become reborn through darkness and into the light is the only way I can describe it. Going through the dark portals, then only to find your way to the light. You can only find your way to the light through going through the dark portals. Some, she says, some are ready and some are not. And that is okay. That she loves all creations. And she will always be a guide. Whoever chooses or desires or wants to learn or experience or discover the wisdom of the snake, she is actually the most nurturing, loving, motherly figure I could. Obviously, through this video, now you're gonna be like, she sounds pretty freaking terrifying. And so to see her as a loving, motherly figure is really gonna be hard for anybody. But she loves. She especially adores anyone who would choose to walk her pathway. She would be honored, find that to be a sacred gift that is given to her, and thus she will honor your sacred request to give in return to you the ultimate rebirth of your soul. That's pretty hardcore. So now we know what my spirit guide Mother Snake is like. Do you want to look her in the eyes? Do you want to look her into the eyes and see her? Are you able to do that? And you decide what you're able to do, yes or no. She says everyone is strong enough to look into my eyes. You just have to find their courage, and then they can find the light, you see. You have to look into the eyes of terror if you choose to look into the light. That's truly what she's saying. Alright, so that is all for this video. Thank you for watching.